Did I do all of this? I want this here. Excellent. It says it's excellent. My stream is excellent. I am. Why does it say that? That's weird. Do I have control over that code? I don't like it. This is the Nicole Howard Show, and I'm recording this so that. Yeah. I'm squeezing in finished my hair, squeezing in a podcast. Last time I did one was yesterday because I hadn't done one for a couple weeks. I caught everybody up on the drama of The Neighborhood. Speaking of, there's a show called The Neighborhood. Oh, my brow's kind of hanging out. Which has the chick from, she's been on Bang Bang Theory and a couple other things. She's pretty, I like her. And then I'm wearing a tank top because it's warm in here. I think Cedric the Entertainer's on it. And anyway, that show comes on after some of the other shows I watch at night. I don't really watch them. They're just on in the background because I have to have noise all the time. Like the radio I can't do because songs get stuck in my head easily. And there's such horrible lyrics in some of the music out there, even by like happy-go-lucky sounding songs. But Taylor Swift puts some really effed up words in her songs and lyrics, and I don't like Taylor Swift that much, but she's somebody you would think, nah, her songs are fine. They're not. Lady Gaga rarely. Hers are usually pretty good. But the rap stuff, and why up here, and I'm living in northern Michigan, they feel the need on Friday night to play nothing but rap on both of the only two modern stations is beyond me. There's a guy that used to play really good, like, get your body moving, techno, upbeat music. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. And, in any case, I was going somewhere with this. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do that. Talked about the neighbor. That's what I'm going with this. Put this stupid fence up. For those of you who have not watched. I don't even think I have a viewer. No, I don't. But people watch this later. Our neighbor put up a fence and blocked off our driveway so that we can no longer go around our turnaround. Just to be petty. He's a jerk. And it's literally like this is a big, here's a circle. Okay, how do I draw this? Here's where I live, and then here's the circle. Wait, no, yeah. And the road going out, and right here, he put a little corner cutting off the part of the circle for us to easily go out, even though all the rest of his field has nothing around it. So I have to go back around this way to get out. He put the circle in with the previous owner of this property, thinking, I think, it was all on our property, but it solved his problem because he doesn't like people backing up in his driveway. And then discovered recently that it is partially his property, and to just be a total jerk, he's decided to stick it to us. And now, today, he decided to make it even more malicious. He put solar daytime lights that blink like an airplane's coming in for landing at the top of each T-post. And then at night, a string of lights, two of them, which are not synced up, which is driving me bonkers, that flash on and off. And one of the lights in the one strand is kind of wonky. So I just want to rip them down. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story here. My grandpa, who used to live here, he put up a Christmas tree. It drives me nuts when people don't take their lights down when it's time. You know what? After New Year's, take them down. If you don't get them down till the end of the week, fine. But rolling into February, you should never have Christmas lights up still by Valentine's Day, people. And it's too early to put them up now. I'm sorry. It's just gotten too early. Everyone always traditionally growing up waited till Thanksgiving Day. Everyone decorated their house the next day. You looked forward to it. You have a limited space of time. You have those lights up. If you have Christmas lights up a third of the year, it's not as enjoyable and as special. And I'm seeing, and Christmas commercials, started earlier and earlier. I noticed during COVID, it was like there was some sort of uh, quota. You had to get a certain amount of Christmas commercials in by a certain time of the point in the year, and because people were down, let's put the Christmas commercials out early because everybody's stuck at home, and it just stuck, and then it became a competition among companies of, well, they're doing their Christmas commercial already, well, we should probably get ours out too, and then it got earlier and earlier, and now we're seeing them before Halloween. And so by the time Thanksgiving gets here, I'm sick of Christmas, and it's another month away. Mm-hmm. So, plus, I mean, last time I went to one of those big stores, there was Halloween decorations, and it wasn't Halloween yet. Next to the Christmas decorations for you to put in your yard. I thought, well, that's ridiculous. Uh, so my grandpa put up on the door a just the shape of a Christmas tree silhouette with these blue lights. The light color was fine. My dad sometimes he puts those ones that make it look like your house has got like the Griswold family Christmas house decorations going on, but it's really just a projector. And usually something happens to it by the end of the year where only a quarter of it works, and we just have to buy a new one. But he takes it down, turns it off when it's time to do that. My grandpa, however, after my dad took that down, left his light up, and he made a conscious effort to plug it in every night because it wasn't on during the day. And I'd come up to take care of the horses. This is back when I was living down at my family's house and on the lake, which is you can walk there, but I'd come up to where the horse barns are, which are now up by me. This is a different residence, and that tree would be lit up, and it was March. My birthday was approaching. I'm like, I am not having my birthday with that stupid tree still lit. And I've asked my dad nicely to ask my grandpa to just take it down. And he's like, if he likes it, I'm not going to take it down. He just didn't want to ever. Actually, if it annoyed me, my dad almost wants to do it more. But also, he was very protective of his dad. So one night I came up to the barn, and this is when I was still drinking, by the way. I don't know if I would have the balls. Well, maybe. Because I'm thinking about doing it to the neighbors. But, they could. This is really before the day of cameras. They could have a camera in our place. Although, it wouldn't be that bad. I took the initiative to. It couldn't make it look like someone had actually sabotaged those lights, because then I would for sure be the one to get blamed. So I unplugged the lights first, took my pocket knife that I always carry on me, and just put a teeny tiny little slice in each little wire so that when you plugged it in, it made no connection. Plugged it back in, stood there for a second to make sure there was not going to be any sort of electrical repercussions, which there weren't. And then the next morning, somebody's like, my tree's not lit up. And my dad finally said, well, it's not Christmas anymore, so I guess you'll be okay. Took it down a week after the lights went out. I was like, oh my God, the tree's still up. It's just not lit up anymore. That started to bother me too, but they finally took it down. So, this is not like my grandpa here. This is the neighbors, and technically it's their property. Even though this is only fueled the fire more. Because now my parents, who were kind of letting it go, and just we're going to make a sign saying, please back up into so and so's driveway, because I explained it yesterday, he's become petty, and we have garbage truck delivery drivers. You cannot just back up once you get to we're the end of the road. You have to. That's why the turnaround was there. They will have to, once they get to ours, anyone that delivers a package, stop and back all the way up to his driveway, back into it, and then turn around, which is now the sign says to please do so. So I can't necessarily just sabotage this, and now I've admitted it on a podcast, so I guess I'm not going to do it. But it has made it so my parents, after so they were just going to do that sign and think that was going to get them somewhere, which I said it won't. So they are now going to readdress pursuing actually getting it switched back to having the fence taken down. Filing the paperwork with the county. I don't know. They have to do something with the county. It's all ridiculous. Just saying. Anything else going on? I'm so behind today because I had to finish coloring my hair, which now you can see the roots are gone. Yes, I do my own hair. for years and years went to one of the best salons up here, and it was so expensive. It ate, I just was never making tons of money during those days, especially. And there was a small period during COVID I made good money. But then the rest of the world got internet, and my income changed because competition became way more extreme. And plus I started getting I'm a lot more tired than I used to be. With I don't know, I could just keep going and going 5 years ago. I don't know if it's my condition or what, but in any case, plus it scares me to not get enough sleep because not getting enough sleep led to me discovering what I have because of I've explained down here before. I have MS and I've had some really strange symptoms occur. In any case, so I used to go get my hair done. See, I've talked about this too. I do get on a tangent and I will get lost for a second, but I'll get back to my point. It'll be a lot easier if there's viewers here to say, if I can't remember, to just maybe steer me in the right direction. I had them color my hair, and I always wanted to do a little blonder. A little blonder. First, I started out when I was in school, just doing highlights. But I always wanted to be blonder than that. But that was all I was willing to do. And all my mom was letting me do. And then once I, got to mid-20s, I was like, I want it to be blonde, like you see on TV. And I always sit there and think, that's not as blonde as I wanted it blonde. Well, like this. And she'd still put a base in that was like a little bit darker and then the blonde highlights. And finally, I started just doing it myself. I went back to brown. Actually, I've had quite a journey with my hair. I thought to save money, I'd let someone, I may have already told this story, but I let someone from my parents' business color it, and it was April Fool's Day, so that didn't help matters. And she grabbed and my hairstylist, who I was actually friends with, and is part of this story eventually, told us what colors to buy, and the beauty store said she's supposed to get developer 10, and she got 1, and that's what the girl says. This is the Redken is 10, but this is this company's version. And it's like, are you sure? She went back, checked. That's black. So as soon as she put it in my hair, it started developing and turning purple. And she's like freaking out, and I'm freaking out, and she's like, rinse it out, and it's running down my face and my chest. And by the time I got it out, I was Easter egg purple. My hair was Easter egg purple, many different shades. I called my hairstylist friend, freaking out. She's like, she was in a band. She had performed all night. So she had to come in on her day off, meet me at the beauty salon, dye it back to blonde. She couldn't even put the highlights back in because it was so fried. And everyone I called to tell them thought it was an April Fool's joke. And then I finally, this is right when phones first came out. My mom was in Vegas with my sister, and my mom, I didn't have the money to pay the salon. That's why I had my friend do it. Actually, one of the employees of my parents' business who said she had was doing a hair internship at this other good salon in town. But yeah, she's doing an internship there for massage. She didn't have anything to do with the hair salon portion of that place. No, she had no business doing it. My mom thought it was an April Fool's joke too. That's when I finally cried. I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is not an April Fool's joke. I'm sending you a picture right now. My hair is really purple. Now, could you please loan me the money, and I'll have to pay you back over the next couple weeks. It's very emotional. Eventually, we put the highlights in a couple weeks later and fixed it. But then I took it upon myself a year or two later to go platinum. Again, it was the daughter of a hair salon. The first time it did not turn platinum, it was yellow. So then her mom gave us a product because we used something from the store, and it was Aveda brand. It did turn white, but Aveda just dries my hair out. I love the smell of it, but it is not good on my hair. And every time I'd get it touched up, instead of just touching the roots up, she'd put it in everything just to really make it pop, which really does, but you just do that at the very tail end for like a minute. Your hair doesn't need, when it's already this blonde, 20 minutes to develop anymore. Just the base does. Anyway, it fried my hair. And then my friend from the hair salon who helped me on April Fool's Day, she helped me dye it back to brown because I was going back to work for my parents. And one of the rules of, this is during all my chaos of drinking days. And anyway, I'll tell this whole entire story thoroughly another time, but she said that your hair has to go back to brown. So it took 4 tries. The first time it was gray. The next time it was grayish brown. The next time it was muddy something color. Finally, we got as close to brown as we could get it. And so my hair, and it was real short because it had broken off to under. I did like to put it in ponytail. I put bobby pins everywhere, and it was ridiculous. I finally grew it out to past my shoulders in the next couple of years with it brown, and then I went back to the salon one time and had the same gal that's always done it, the one that helped me on April Fool's Day. And everyone's like, "Your hair's so great, I love it." And I'm like, "I know, I'm back to blonde." And I just didn't have the money at the time. I was a manager of a horse barn, and you make like $10 an hour doing that crap. It's maybe now you make more, but it's a lot of work for not a lot of money. And plus, a lot of my money was going towards alcohol. So I finally decided, you know what? I'm going to do my own hair. And I figured out some good products, and then I tried highlights and stuff like that, and I just did the top, and then underneath was dark, and then I got sober finally, and I met a friend who had her beautician's license, and she kind of held my hand through some learning how to do some more professional stuff. But the funny thing is the first product I ever found to do it myself, I still use the bleach because it is the best. Any other one I've used Clairol and all these other brands that are more name brand, and the second they touch my hair, and I tried it on the bottom first just to see, I can smell it burning my hair off. The Prism Lights works great. If any guys are watching this, they really don't care. I'll get to a better story after this. In any case, so I started doing my own hair, and it costs like $30 to do my own hair versus $300 to go to $70 for a haircut. My hair is easy to cut. I don't have some complicated cutie patootie haircut. And even if you do have kind of a complicated haircut, I've never seen someone at a hair salon take more than 10-20 minutes to cut someone's hair. That's the most. And they're getting paid $70 plus a tip. So pretty much almost $100. That's ridiculous. So I just do it myself. And but I do kind of dread it because it is so much nicer to just sit in a hair salon and let someone else do it all for you. It really is. I'm loading something while we sit here talking. Yeah, I just do it myself now. It's a lot easier. But you know what it's like trying to do your own hair from behind while holding a mirror? And when you see in the mirror that you need to go to the left, but you're also holding a mirror, and so you tell yourself to go this way, but you really need to go that way. It's complicated. Let me tell you. Anyway, but I got it down. And somehow I stopped doing the stupid highlights too. That was way too hard. What's happening here? Now I don't know. I just put it in at different speeds. It ends up looking highlighted. It's very nice. I apparently can't do this and talk at the same time. My phone's edit. Goodness gracious me. What else is happening? So there's something in that corner. I keep hearing. My cat keeps staring. Yeah, so the neighbors put those lights up. I did my hair. I'm still in charge of the horses. I'm really exhausted. My dad's going to start helping in the mornings because I'm about to break. I just can't take it anymore. It's just too much. Doing this all by myself. 3 times a week going outside and trying to work and start a new gig here. I just can't do it. I'm already, and I need to make money. Since when is just snow by Wednesday? Oh man, I don't want snow. It's going to be 52 tomorrow. I didn't even put the horses' blankets on yesterday. I did put them on tonight's drop, but tomorrow night's going to be nice. So the next 2 days, they won't have horse blankets on, which makes my life easier because then I don't have to switch anything out. Okay, good. I'm just watching my time here. I gotta work after this for a little bit. And I'm so tired that today I had to get up and do my hair and get in back. So today's vacuuming day and chores day, and I needed to get started by 4 or 5 o'clock. And I wake up and it's 5:40, and I still haven't colored my hair. It's like, are you kidding me? I need to start vacuuming by 4 or 5, and then work out, and then we. I slept. I fell asleep. I was so bummed out when I saw what had happened. So I thought, all right, go get the horses in first, because I was gonna have to do my hair and then get all clean and fresh, and then go out and take your horses. This way, it doesn't matter. It's totally screwed my schedule. That's why I'm on doing this so late. Somehow, one of these times, I'm gonna get online at a proper time. I just haven't accomplished it yet. Or get online, get this podcast going. There's another noise next to me. Mice are getting in here because this is I live next to a big field, and there's it's getting cold outside, so they've infiltrated into the barn, and uh, they're real. I got those bucket traps. Those bucket traps don't work. They can jump out, and they start to figure out what they are and stay away from them. They're not stupid. It's like maybe it's because they're country mice, but like I discovered city squirrels are far more intelligent than country squirrels. It must be the reverse with mice. Mice may be different, but country squirrels are real stupid. City squirrels are smart. I've watched them, to go over a road, they climb up the telephone line and then, go over. But I've watched country squirrels run out and they're like, oh my god, there's a car. Wait, which direction do I go? And then they run over. Or, yeah, they're just not very intelligent. Plus, the power company had to come out a couple years ago because the squirrels kept running up the telephone cable power, the big pole with the transformer thing at the top, and they'd get and then they'd hit this one spot and go bzz, and then there'd be a pop, and then they'd go about 14 feet out in the air, and then they'd land on the ground smoking, and all of our power would short out. It turns out the power company, for this reason, has a squirrel box that they have to install for the suicidal. I don't think they're really suicidal, and that's not a laughing matter. But for the dumbass, oh, I'm swearing again. Non instinct squirrels. Anyway, to stop them from going up and doing that all the time, because every time they did it, we'd have to have the power company come out too. And plus, they kept killing themselves in our yard. It was usually they were running from something that was making them do it, or they'd get into it with one of their friends, and one would run up to the. And I've seen one of our barn cats. She used to climb up that telephone pole all the way to the top and swat at the birds, and then climb back down. I guess I didn't realize that she could have gotten electrocuted up there. Because, telephone wires don't electrocute you, but power wires do. So it must be power wires out there. Now that I think of it. Sorry, like I said, I'm working after this. I'm getting prepped for work as we speak. Because I'm just gonna end up doing the same thing tomorrow. If I start too late today, if I get done too late tonight, I'm gonna get done super late tomorrow. And I gotta get sleep. Oh, that's another thing. I'm so tired. Oh, right. Yeah. I do not want to do this again. Did I load this? See, like I said, I can't multitask. I used to be the queen of multitasking when I worked for my family. Oh, yeah, I never did do that. I could do like 3 things at once. I definitely cannot text while talking. No. I will start. Why is this the same thing? I will start typing what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Can't do it anymore. Although I ran into a friend who's got the same thing as me, and she MS, and she said, "What is happening here? Cancel. The discard changes." Jeez. She says you can't do. She says you can't focus, can you? I said no. She goes over multitasking. I said no. She goes, yeah, that's what starts happening to you. So I kind of was blaming my age for it and just whatever. Turns out it could be part of my condition. I don't know. But I also do, in my defense, have really bad ADD, and I've had it my entire life. But for some reason, the teachers never caught it, and I'm not entirely sure why, because it was quite obvious that's what my problem was. Um, I so easily get distracted. It's nuts. And I could do great on homework and stuff. My teachers always go, "You did great, and your test, you had the answer, and then you'd erase it. And why did you do that?" And I'm like, "Because I second guessed myself." And they couldn't understand why I wasn't a better test taker. Uh, and this is another thing I was just thinking about. They're talking about homework on TV. Uh, these people giving oodles of homework to their kids. If you give your student 1 hour, 2 hours of homework, there's 4 or 5 other teachers doing the same thing. When I used to get too much homework, I ended up just memorizing it so that I could pass the test, but I retained none of it. The stuff I retained was the classes where we had very little homework and did lots of stuff in class and did hands on, and visual learning, because you got to stimulate both sides of the brain to get it to connect, in my opinion. And it wasn't until I had somebody like that stuff like that I actually retained. When I had to do a lot of homework, and when I transferred schools from a big one to a small one, and the small one gave way more homework, and yet they were considered a better school. And then it turns out they weren't. Again, I don't remember. I remember the most of my education, the stuff I learned. I remember most of my middle school days. The stuff I learned in high school, even though I got great grades, I don't remember a lot of it. Maybe it's somewhere in the back of my head it's there, so I know stuff, but I don't remember when I learned it. Whereas I remember being in Mr. Springer's uh, science class, physical science, and I think that was in 8th grade, and we were talking about BO, and that when you have body odor, and if it gets into your clothing, it's there for life. Dogs can, you can wash it all you want. That's why a dog can detect it even. Unless you bleach it, it'll never leave that material. That's why if you've ever gotten stinky in a shirt and you wash it and you just get a little sweaty one more time in it, it stinks again automatically. And it's like, but I don't stink. Why does the shirt stink so quickly? Because the shirt's got permanent perma-stink in it. It's the oils in your body. That's why dogs can find stuff so easily. Um, yeah, stuff like that I remember. And then I ended up in honors biology in the 9th grade year. And I even remember our goofy teacher showed up for hat day, and she had a plant on her head, a potted plant, a flower, and she said, "I'm a pothead." And we were like, "That's really good. We didn't know you had a sense of humor." She was a goofy teacher. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I've rambled on about nonsense, but I want to establish an audience. Uh, 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 I'll try and have more topics of. I'll try and stay more focused. Yeah. A list to go through. Oh, right. Ooh. Mm. Yep, 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 yep. So I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. I'm gonna try and do this before Thanksgiving again. I'm not gonna do this tomorrow night. I need a night off. I need to just take it easy. So everyone have a good one. Thank you very much. Huh. Sorry, I'm realizing numbers on here that I never noticed. Huh, telling me my stream, it's kind of like a stream. And my usage. CPU, I gotta pay attention to my other job, how much it uses. That's very curious. Okay, thanks again. Have a nice rest of your weekend. Nice week. Okay, thanks. Ooh, stay lit up. Oh, right. Oh, crap. Mm.